from the Massachusetts Broadcasters Station of the Year, this is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
Some much-needed rainfall finally moving in across Western Mass today. Thanks for joining us, everyone, for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Chris Pisano.
And I'm Jordyn Jagalinzer. A good day to maybe stay in, watch some spooky movies. For the latest on what we can expect as we head into the rest of the week, let's send things over to meteorologist Jana Brown. Hey, Jana.
Hey, guys. It was definitely that kind of day today, right? It was hard to get up, hard to get motivated, just gray and dreary. But we got some beneficial rain, at least the numbers so far, coming in over an inch in most locations. Here at Western Mass News, picking up over 1.2 inches, and I'm sure that's climbed since the last time I've checked. And some of these numbers haven't actually been updated since this morning. Areas like West Hampton, that was taken around 9 a.m. where they had just shy of an inch. So I would say most of us ending up around 1 to 2 inches today. Current conditions are starting to improve. We do still have some scattered showers. Right now, Greenfield down to South Deerfield, getting into areas like West Hampton, seeing some showers with a few downpours. But the heaviest rain has already moved out of our area into Worcester County. And this whole thing continues to lift off to the northeast. This was remnants of Delta. And we are drying out as we continue throughout the rest of the night. Still a lot of cloud cover right now, but we are drying out. Looking out from our Agawam Skycam, it is still very dark outside. We're at 50 degrees with a breeze out of the north at about 10 miles an hour. So that breeze is making it feel much cooler for sure. Temperatures right now lower to middle 50s for everybody, but I guarantee you there's some spotty upper 40s once you get up into some of the higher elevations. And the breezes right now are about 5 to 10 miles an hour, but winds should become just a little bit lighter overnight. But we do keep that breeze. So through the rest of the evening, temperatures dropping back down to the low 50s, staying fairly steady until skies start to clear out. Once that happens, we will cool off into the low 40s for tomorrow morning as the kiddos head off to school. Chilly, but then in the afternoon, sunshine and lovely with highs close to 70 in the lower valley. We'll take a look at your full forecast in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Jana, thank you. 3 school districts are dealing with active COVID-19 cases right now in Western Mass.
Our own Audrey Russo joins us with the very latest. Audrey.
The first update that we have is out of Chicopee, where town health officials say that a Chicopee Comp staff member has tested positive for COVID-19. Town officials do confirm to us that 20 students were sent home, dismissed for the day, and told to quarantine after they were identified as close contacts to this staff member. We've reached out to the district for an official comment. Now, this comes as 2 other districts elsewhere in the Western Mass area are working through contact tracing. And what it seems to be from working on this story today is that different districts are comfortable releasing different information about their COVID-19 cases, and that there doesn't seem to be a standard among them when it comes to disclosure.
I will just tell you that it was at the regional school.
A positive COVID-19 case has been confirmed in the Southwick-Tolland-Granville Regional School District. Superintendent Jennifer Willard tells Western Mass News it was at the school serving grades 7 through 12. However, she would not say if it was a staff member or a student, citing privacy reasons. Willard says they've done contact tracing and have a policy for identifying those who may have been within 6 feet of the positive case for a cumulative 15 minutes.
We do contact the close contacts prior to the community getting the letter, so that if you've received the letter and you have not been identified that you're a close contact, then you're fine.
In addition to the regional school case, Willard says the district has identified another positive case at the Woodland Elementary School. The letter to the school community went out at 4 p.m. Tuesday.
I can tell you that it is not related to the first case.
You guys haven't had any other positive cases since that was reported yesterday, correct?
That's correct.
Western Mass News also spoke over the phone with the superintendent of the Hamden-Wilbraham Regional School District. It was a staff member?
That's correct.
Albert Gannam Jr. willing to confirm a staff member tested positive, but wouldn't say in which of the district's 6 buildings, also citing privacy reasons. Gannam Jr. tells Western Mass News they have completed contact tracing and followed their action plan. As for the number of people identified as close contacts and asked to quarantine,
I'm going to say it's less than a few.
Again, officials with both districts say that they've done contact tracing and that they've notified those identified as close contacts. What information they chose to keep confidential, both school officials told me was for privacy reasons. Reporting live, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thank you for that live report. West Springfield's mayor is now responding after a new petition is circulating around his town, trying to get students who are currently learning remotely to return in person to the classroom full-time.
Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane joins us live in West Springfield with more. Lindsay?
Chris and Jordyn, the goal with this petition is to get enough signatures to force a special election to vote on if students should go back to school fully in person. West Springfield Mayor Will Reichelt tells Western Mass News that 1,706 signatures are needed in order to spark a vote.
If the required 10% of registered voters' signatures get started, it goes forwarded to the school committee. They decide if it's something they can act on. If not, you need 5% more signatures. Then it goes to the town council and a referendum set up.
He says a special election at this time would cost the town $25,000. Mayor Reichelt says if there is a vote at some point, the results would not be binding, meaning regardless of what the vote is, the town can make their own decision. West Springfield schools are set to transition to a hybrid learning model beginning later this month. Live in West Springfield, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Lindsay, thank you for that live report. And here's a look at today's numbers of COVID-19 cases. So far, the state reporting 632 new cases for a total number of 137,565. And there were also 12 more deaths today. The statewide death toll stands at 9,413. For the third straight day, the New England Patriots are being kept off their practice field and away from the team's facilities due to players who've tested positive for COVID-19.
Western Mass News reporter Kayla Burton joins us live in studio to tell us how the team is preparing for their game on Sunday. Kayla?
Well, Chris and Jordyn, some good news for the Pats for the third straight day in a row. Rather, for the second straight day in a row, there have been no players, no member of the team, no coach testing positive for COVID-19, meaning the Patriots could be back on the field, taking the practice field as early as tomorrow. The Patriots hit pretty hard by this coronavirus pandemic with a fourth player testing positive on Sunday. The team has been forced to stay out of their facilities, unable to practice physically together since last week. With the league postponing their game against the Denver Broncos to Sunday, the team has been meeting virtually, going over their game plan for their next home game. Head coach Bill Belichick speaking to Western Mass News through a virtual press conference today. He says the team is ready to get back to work as a whole. He says working from a virtual standpoint is definitely an adjustment.
I'd say we've probably had overall more individual meetings this year than we've had historically in the past to try to, separate and distance. But that allows, the good part of that is it allows more individual and direct communication between the coach and his players. The downside of that is there's a little bit less overall, communication and, total understanding of everything that's happening because you don't hear other coaches tell the players beside you or in front of you or behind you what they're doing.
Despite these rapid changes towards the team within the past week, Belichick says this isn't anything really new to the team as they have had to adjust since the preseason, not having any preseason games, hosting virtual meetings, and overall just being flexible. Now, as for starting quarterback Cam Newton and his return, he could be soon back on not only the practice field, but the playing field as early as Sunday. This, of course, if he continues to remain asymptomatic, as well as prove 2 negative coronavirus test results. We'll keep you posted on his status. But for now, live in studio, Kayla Burton, Western Mass News.
Kayla, thank you for that live report. In your campaign news, we are now exactly 3 weeks away for the election day in November. Early voting in the Bay State starts, in fact, this Saturday.
Western Mass News reporter Leon Purvis is live for us in Springfield with more on how local communities are getting ready for voters. Leon?
Jordyn, Chris, I checked in both with the cities of Holyoke and Springfield, where leaders say they're confident that early voting will turn out smoothly.
We had knock on wood, a very good primary season, which was record-based in the people that came out to vote. So we'll be ready.
Springfield Mayor Dominic Sano is optimistic about early voting in the November 3rd election starting this Saturday in the Bay State. Over in Holyoke, they're busy getting the polls ready.
Last minute preparations is just making sure we have all the proper supplies we're going to need for the 2 weeks of early voting we're going to have. We're making sure we have all of our staff lined up.
Having enough volunteers in each city and town is important, especially after states like Georgia, which already started early voting this week, have experienced extremely long lines. Holyoke City Clerk Brenna Murphy-McGee tells Western Mass News they plan to avoid long waits.
We're just hoping that we can get people in and out, quickly, but not rushing people. We are going to ask people to stay 6 feet apart. I don't anticipate a line like that.
Murphy-McGee says she does not anticipate a crush of early voters because of the number of mail-in ballot requests so far.
Between Wednesday afternoon and Friday, we mailed out about 7,000 early voting and absentee ballots. We've only received maybe 50 to 100 back in the mail today, so I'm anticipating the end of this week we're going to start seeing a huge amount of return mail coming back to us.
Back in Springfield, Mayor Sano is again confident things will run smoothly.
We did it for the primary, which was record turnout, and we had no issues.
Early voting starts this Saturday and ends on Friday, October 30th. And the last day to register to vote in Massachusetts is Saturday, October 24th. Live in Springfield, Leon Purvis, Western Mass News.
Leon, thank you for that live report. And for more coverage on the coronavirus emergency as it continues to develop, log on to our free Western Mass News streaming app.
New at 6, Eversource is getting ready to add more than 300,000 new customers following their acquisition of Columbia Gas. The $1.1 billion purchase officially completed today. The president of Regional Electric Operations, William Ickley, tells Western Mass News that Eversource became familiar with Columbia Gas customers and facilities already after helping with the response to the 2018 Merrimack Valley gas explosions.
That allowed us to become familiar with the affected communities and some of the operations and facilities of Columbia Gas. We and Columbia Gas have similar gas supply portfolios, creating substantial opportunity for improved gas supply management and cost savings for our customers. Those savings will pass directly to our customers through gas supply rate mechanisms.
The acquisition is part of Columbia Gas's settlement with the state following those explosions. Ickley says Columbia Gas customers may also be able to take advantage of Eversource cleaner gas initiatives currently proposed in their N-Star rate case in front of the Mass DPU.
Meantime, members of the Columbia Gas Resistance Campaign were on hand at today's announcement. The group pushing for more renewable energy. Eversource officials tell Western Mass News they received a letter from the group today and welcome the opportunity to engage in positive interactions. They say they fully support a move to renewables and are actively working to help the Commonwealth meet its carbon reduction goals.
Coming up next, a woman appears before a judge charged with abandoning a baby inside a dumpster. We take you inside the courtroom when we come back.
And later, hurting from the coronavirus pandemic, we focus on a new revenue stream for the Big E Fairgrounds.